All right, so we're here to look at how to make a self-grading quiz using Google Forms and Google Spreadsheets to grade the quizzes that your students take. And even if they take the quiz at 2 in the morning, they'll get a grade for their quiz and know how they did and know if they need to take it again so that they can study from the quiz many times and take it over and over again if they wish to. So you'll need to get the template from me. I'll share it with you, and then you'll have this little folder here called Self-Grading Quiz. And within that, you're going to see 3 documents. One are just the directions that we're going through today, and so that you can follow along or not listen to this video, but instead just use the directions, which should work out great. The other things you're going to see here are a blank quiz and the grading sheet. And we need our own copies of these because right now the owner isn't me. The owner is my other Joe Miller, the clone. But what you'll need to do similarly is you'll see that it's owned by me. You need to make your own copy. So you're going to make a copy of the blank quiz. And then you're also going to make a copy of the grading sheet. The blank quiz is just a form that's been made. And if now you go into my drive, you should see the copies of those 2 documents. Okay? Probably a good idea to make a folder or something where you're going to put your new things. I'm deciding to make a quiz on sig figs. So I'm going to make a folder called sig figs. And then I'm going to move these into sig figs. So that's where I'm going to do my work. And then in sig figs, I can see both of these. I can choose to rename them if I'd like to. So I'm going to rename this one to be Sig Figs Quiz. And this might be for just one of my classes. So I might say block B and then do it again for block C or something like that. Or it could just be for all of my physics students. You could just decide to do whatever you want to do there. Then I need a grading sheet. And at this point, these 2 files are not tied to each other. But we will be doing that. But at least I'll put grading sheet for sig figs. Okay, awesome. So now they're both ready to go. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is edit the form. So when I open the form, notice it's setting up a spreadsheet immediately right now. And the danger with that is if you set up the spreadsheet and you go and you change these numbers, you're going to run into troubles if you use cut and paste using this duplicate function. If you go in and just edit each question, you won't have a problem. But in either case, if you decide to change the response destination, you can change that response destination right here after you've edited each of these questions, and that way you'll get a nice clean spreadsheet. Okay. In any case, I'm going to just move on here. I can look at each question, make sure each question is what I wanted it to be. At the bottom here, I have a little thing that's a message that it sends to the students when they're done taking the form quiz, and we're going to edit that in a minute. So after you have all the questions just how you'd like them to be, then you go ahead and set up the responses. And then you want to check that your responses are the 10 questions that you have and that it's set up properly. Okay? And make sure you have that. That's a good idea. You can also go ahead and take the quiz once. So we're going to go to the live form. And this time when you take the quiz, you're going to not want to make any mistakes because this is going to be what the spreadsheet compares to check your students' work. So I'm going to call this Perfect Pam, and I'm going to go through and get all the right answers here. So 2 is the right answer there. 3 is the right answer there. I want to make sure I get the right answer. So 6. You don't want to make a mistake here because then they'll talk about it the next day as they get confused. So be careful getting the right answers on all of these. Yep, just double checking. And this one's going to be 4. This one's also 4. This one's a harder one, 3. 7 on that one. 3 on that one, and 4 on that one. Okay, so that'll take a minute. Sorry about that. But you want to do that. When you take that, you want to go really slowly and carefully and make sure that you've done a good job. And it might take a while for Google Docs to get the results in here, but it looks like we have perfect Pam set up here in results. And Google Docs, anytime somebody new puts in their responses, it would shift any equations or anything that I had over here would get pushed away, which is why we need to create a separate grading sheet. And to do so, I'm going to need this little special code at the top here where it says key equals. So right after the equals, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to slide all the way to this number sign here and grab that whole thing right there, and then Control C, copying that. Okay? And then back here in Sig Figs, I'm going to go ahead and go to the grading sheet for Sig Figs. And this actually has two sheets, one called form responses and one called scores. And we're just going to set up form responses right now by going to A1. And here where it says import range, put your code here. I'm going to select that area up to the quotation marks and Control V, the code to that other document. And when I press enter here, it's going to fill in all their responses. And what's nice about on this sheet, as new students type in information and it gets sent, it will upload all of this new information without changing anything else in my scores sheet. And the scores sheet looks to the perfect Pam and then compares, which I'll show you in a second. But right now that we've done that with form response and we've gone ahead and put in A1 what we needed to put in, and it's pulled in the rest of the spreadsheet, we're going to hide the sheet because we don't want students to see this sheet. So it's hidden, and all they'll see is their responses. Okay? I'm going to grab this response sheet where we hid the other one and where it says scores. I'm going to grab this information right here. In order for students to see this, it needs to be shared. So I'm going to click shared and make sure that it's changed so that anyone with the link can see it. Okay, so now students can see this score sheet. And then I'm going to grab this URL right here. Okay, I'm going to grab that URL, and I'm going to go back to where I was making my Sig Figs quiz and go to the very bottom where it says paste your URL so that students can see their results. Paste that there and press enter. Now when I send form or view live form and take the quiz again, this isn't going to be perfect Pam. This is going to be a test. So I'm just going to randomly pick some numbers here. I might notice that I get one question right, so I'd like to get number 3 right. And then just grab random numbers here. Remembering that I got number 3 right. Now let's get number 9 right also. And I might have gotten some others right by mistake. Submit. And now I'm going to click this spreadsheet and it's going to come to this document. And what we're waiting for is a couple things to happen. We're waiting for the response form to get the information. So you can see here this response form is just now getting the information. And then we're waiting for the grading sheet to get that information as well. And this can take as much as 5 to 10 minutes. It actually can be quite slow as you wait for Google to talk to itself about the information. But it will eventually show up, and when it does, you can see it. One thing, as a student, they wouldn't be able to do this, but as the owner, you can click here, see form responses, and see if it's showing up here yet, which it isn't. And I'm just trying to force the issue by hitting reply, but I've seen it take, depending on how busy Google is, up to 10 minutes for it to show up. There, it finally showed up. So now the student would have seen under the grading, they can see test, and here you can see 3 was one I said hopefully I got right. Nice. Said I'd get 9 right. I got 2 other ones right by mistake. So this test would show up and students could see that. I'm going back and hiding this. I want to hide this sheet because I don't want the students to see that. They just want to see this. So one more time I'm just going to go ahead and submit another response because let's say the student said, that wasn't good enough for me. I want to do a better job. And hopefully the Google will go a little faster this time. So I'm going to go test 2. And I'm going to just get a different question right. I'll get number 4 right this time. So that'll be 7. I'll make sure I'm getting that one right. And I'm just randomly picking some. And submitting. And when I go straight to this, you'll see it's not up here yet. But we can wait and see that. While I'm waiting to see, hopefully this show up while I'm yapping. I'll talk about some of the issues that you'll get. One nice thing is that if you've created a quiz that, say you're giving the actual quiz in class the next day, they can take multiple versions practicing for that quiz that you're actually going to do in class and see their results. And the other thing that you can do is actually give them a course grade from it, because you can go back and you have the right as a teacher to go back and look at that other sheet, the one with the responses, and so that you can see, oh, who had that secret code name. You can see which student it was that had that secret code name, and that way you also know how they're doing, and so that's nice. I did have one evening where students complained how long it took. It finally came in while I was yapping there. But if you tell them it takes up to 5 minutes, it definitely shows up within 5 minutes. They're used to more immediate feedback, but tell them they can jump on Facebook for that second and then go back and see how their score was. So that's how you make a self-grading quiz. I hope you decide to use it, and if you do and you run into troubles, please come and see me. Thanks a lot.